Hi guys, welcome to my live lock chat. I am so sorry if you were trying to join at 7:15. I accidentally I said it. I went live at 7:17 and I set it as private. So yeah, sorry about that, but I am here and welcome. Um can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hi. Hi, Her Variety. Hi, Jasmine. Can you guys let me know? Just drop if you can hear me. Okay, cool. Hi. Hi, Supermom. I'm using my mic that I normally use for filming. I've never used it doing live, so just want to make sure you guys can hear me. But thank you guys for joining me for this live chat. I'm excited that I'm actually wearing real clothes because it's been a long time since I had to wear real clothes because I don't. Thank you, Supermom. Awesome. I have not. I've been off work for 2 months. I'm going back this Monday. And I also, I work from home and I just, I haven't had to wear real clothes. But I said, you know what, let me put on something real. But anywho, without further ado, I wanted to get into some questions that you guys asked me between Instagram and here on YouTube. So let me pull them up. Um, give me a second. Give me a second. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So the first question I got is, this is from faithstaylit.bu. How do I stop my scalp from getting buildup after I spray it? So I guess the thing is, it depends on what you're actually spraying on your locks. Typically on your scalp, you don't want to be putting too much. Putting oils, like an oil and water mixture, is okay, but you don't want to be clogging your scalp with a lot of thick, heavy products. And then also, depending on your cell turnover rate, like with dandruff and things like that, it's very natural to just get stuff built up on your locks over time. So I would look into simplifying whatever it is that you're putting on your scalp. Maybe just use, if you're using something creamy, maybe use oil and water. I definitely would not suggest using things like shea butter on your scalp. It's really just, it's pretty heavy, and that is definitely going to cause the buildup. All right, next question is from Gregory Shoulders Jr. 2. How do you wash your locks? So the way I wash my locks is pretty simple, honestly. I use Shea Moisture's Jamaican Black Castor Oil line. I put the shampoo in an applicator bottle. This isn't an applicator bottle, but I'll just show you as a demo. So I put some of the shampoo in here. I put some water in here. I mix it all up really good. And then I spread it around my head. Spread that around. Use my fingertips to, hey, everybody that just joined. And yes, Jasmine, you can ask questions here, but I will, I'm going to answer the ones that I got first. And then I'll answer you guys' questions. But hi, everybody. Hi. So yeah, I spread everything around, and then I use my fingertips to gently massage and cleanse my scalp. And I used to use my fingernails because I loved scratching my scalp because I had issues with dandruff, and that's really just not good, for the scalp. So that's pretty much how I wash my hair in a nutshell. I won't say I used to use, but I am kind of going back and forth as to whether I'm going to continue to use conditioner or not. It's been almost 7 years, and yeah, I don't know, but that's a whole other video. All right. Next question is from I_D.A. Excuse me. Which styles are best for lock girls with limited edges? I love this question because I am a lock girl with limited edges. As I've said a whole bunch of times, my edges got damaged from relaxers when I was younger. Somebody actually put a Just For Me relaxer on my hair. And I've never really talked about this on my channel, but somebody put that relaxer on my hair when I was like 11, I think, maybe 10 or 11. And before that, my grandma always used to just hot comb my hair, and my hair was fine. It was growing, I had hair. And after that relaxer, my edges never recovered. So since then, literally, I'm 20, oh my God, 25 years, I have just had short edges because of that. And so the styles that I would say are best are anything that doesn't cause a lot of tension to the scalp. Um, I think it's very, like in this age that we're living in, lots of people want to slay their edges, snatch their edges, all of that. When you have limited edges, you want to be really conservative about that just to maintain what you already have. I don't wear a lot of like styles where my locks are completely pulled back. This is kind of an exception. But even with this, I have to be like really careful not to pull the locks too tight. But I would honestly say wear what makes you feel comfortable. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have short edges, so that means I can't wear certain things. The main thing you want to avoid is just stuff that's really tight and that styles that are going to compromise what you have already. But don't limit yourself. I've slowly over the past year gotten into wearing more like high ponytails, just wearing my hair back a little bit more. I was afraid to do that, knowing that my edges were so short. But I honestly think as long as you are being cautious, you can wear whatever style you want. That's my 2 cents. But you did ask which styles are best. If I really had to answer which style is best, what I would say is best for me is just having my hair down. And like if I wear it up, like in a bun or a high pony or something, leaving some hair out in the front versus pulling it all back, that is best for me. But you know, you can experiment with that. All right, next question is from Antoine DR. He asked, what's the most annoying thing about having locks? Most annoying thing for me is the fact that my locks hold on to smells. I went to a coffee shop, which I think this was like the first time that I went to a coffee shop in 2020 with all the craziness. But I went to a coffee shop in December and I was there for maybe like an hour and a half. And when I left there, oh my God, I could not get the smell of coffee off of me. And I don't even drink coffee, I drink tea. But that's the most annoying thing. If I sit near a fire pit, my locks will smell like fire. If I'm in an old, musty kind of place, my locks are going to smell like that. Like, it's annoying and it can't be avoided because your locks are kind of like, excuse me, they're kind of like fabric in a way. So you just end up picking up whatever's around you. So I try to tie up my hair when I can, but it's not always possible. But that's most annoying. Kylie Jones 769, what do you do for a living now? I do the same thing that I was doing before. I just I was going to quit my job and I decided to just take an 8-week leave of absence unpaid. And I prepared for that and everything. So I'm really grateful for that. I'm going back, as I was saying earlier, on Monday. And it's kind of sad because I've really just been enjoying not having to work. But, you know, I also have a life. I need to make money. So, yeah, I'll be going back. All right. Connie Jalise asks, how do you keep your locks moisturized between retwists? Sorry, y'all. My throat is dry. Hold on. Let me take a sip of water because I'm mad thirsty out here. And hi to everybody that just joined. I see all of your questions. I will get to those after I answer the ones that came in earlier today. All right, so how do I keep locks moisturized between retwists? So I usually will just do like a rose water and oil spray. Lion Locks actually sent me, let me show you guys. All right, Lion Locks sent me some products a couple of weeks ago. They sent me their lock growth oil and then their advanced rose water treatment. So I have been spritzing my locks with this. I've been putting a little bit of, I spritz my locks with this first. This is just a rose water treatment. It has, what's in here? It's rose water, organic aloe leaf juice, vegetable glycerin, extra virgin olive oil, sunflower seed oil, etc. So I'll spritz with this first, and then I usually will take a few drops of this in my hands, like just a few drops, because this does smell pretty strong. I like how it smells, but it is strong. So just a few drops of this and spread this over my locks to seal in the moisture, because you do have to use something with water. It can be regular water, it can be rose water, but you want water because that's where you're ultimately going to get the moisture from. It doesn't come from oil. All right. All right, let's keep going. 1 second. All right. Okay. Next question is, did you seal, this comes from Pay the Piper on YouTube. Did you seal your ends yourself? My ends sealed themselves up. So I started with comb coils, and it was a very simple process. As they started to bud, as they started to mature, my ends sealed up. Now, some of them are kind of like curly cues a little bit, and they never change, but they're fine. I did have damage to my ends from getting color almost 2 years ago, but for the most part, my ends sealed themselves. And I will say also, some of the ends that got damaged from color, I used a crochet hook to seal those back up, and it worked pretty well. But if you're talking about just from like the natural process of starting locks, they sealed up on their own. All right. Crazy Snake Lady on YouTube asks, do you have a favorite lock and why? Hope it doesn't sound silly, but I'm on my second set and both times I had a favorite. LOL. That's a funny question. It's not something that I've really thought about, but I do have. There is one. It's kind of in the back somewhere. It's like one of my thicker locks, and the end is like perfectly sealed and tight. I think that's probably my favorite. I have some least favorite ones from color damage where the ends are burst, and I have my hair but I have my hair braided up right now, so you can't really see. But the ends that are damaged are my least favorite, and the one that's thick is my favorite. Kia S asks, do you still, why can't I read tonight, y'all? Do you still, or have you dealt with the bulbs of your shed hair being noticeable? I still have noticeable bulbs of shed hair. They're not going anywhere. I actually noticed quite a few earlier today. So yeah, they're not going anywhere, and I'm not doing anything about them. So I'm living with them. So yeah, it's something that happens. You're keeping your shed hair, so it's natural that you would have those bulbs. Okay. 80s baby asks, what's your goal length? My goal length is like rib cage length. Yeah, like ow, bones cracking. Like right here. Right here is my goal length, and it's probably gonna take me another maybe 2 years or so, maybe 2.5 years. It just depends. But that's definitely where I'm gonna get. And after that, I am going to cut my locks. I'm going to start trimming them. And at first I was like concerned about whether I would be able to trim them, but I have trimmed some. Like I trimmed one in the front like pretty good, like several inches. And the end just sealed right back up. So I will be cutting my hair. I'm not going to let it get past rib cage length. All right. Excuse me. All right. Demi Bell asks, how are your roots doing? I remember one of your last posts you discussed thinning. Yes. So my roots are doing pretty well. I have not noticed any additional thinning. I have been taking it very easy. Last night, yeah, it was last night, I washed my locks. I didn't retwist. What I'm doing, like when I wash my locks, sometimes instead of doing a retwist, I would just kind of gather those hairs that are at the root of an individual lock and just try to neaten it. And I'll put a little bit of aloe vera gel on it so they can kind of stay in place. But I'm not doing like a full blown retwist. But I do want the ends to stay neat, so that way, so that way I don't have to deal with like marrying of the locks at the roots and thinning because I'm trying to snap them apart. All right, I think that is it for Excuse me. Wow, I got through these fast. Okay. All right. So I will answer you guys' questions now. Let's go through the chat. Hi to everybody who is here. Mary Bush says, Miss Nina, is it okay to wash hair after 2 weeks? You mean if you're, I'm not sure if you mean like if you, once you just started or just in general, but if you just started, it's okay. I waited 8 days to wash mine, but you just want to make sure that you use a stocking cap to make sure that your starter locks stay secure. If you have locks, if your locks are already mature, 2 weeks is perfectly fine. There's no rule, there's no law as to how often you should or shouldn't wash your hair. It really depends on what your hair needs and what your scalp needs. And for me, I realized that I needed to wash my locks more, like 2 weeks, because I was doing like 3 and 4 weeks and even like a little bit longer than that, which was just way too long. But ideally for me, once a week, like the way my scalp is set up, once a week. But yeah, there's no like hard and fast rules. Excuse me. Rocky James says, sorry if I mispronounced your name. I will be starting my locks this weekend. Any advice? Well, congrats on getting started. And my advice would be just to be patient and to enjoy the process. Understand that it is a process. Understand that you're not going to see a transformation right before your eyes unless you get, locks installed instantly. But if you're growing your locks, just be patient. Just live your life, enjoy your life. And as you live and grow and learn, your locks are also growing as well. So just buckle up and take the ride. Amakalicious asks, hi, it's midnight here in the UK, so I should be snoring. Just say you're alive. I want to say, oh, hi, not a question, but hi, thank you for joining so late over there. She also says, I'm new to making video on locks and hair. What are your tips for being successful? That's a good question. My tips for being successful on making videos is to be consistent, definitely be consistent. You're going to have to work hard to build an audience. You can't just put out, one video a month and expect to build your platform from there. Another tip I would have is to really try to come up with good thumbnails. I feel like my thumbnail game could be better. There's some times where I like my thumbnails, and there's other times where I'm like, ugh, this just is not looking how I want it to look. There's like software that you could use. Canva is free cloud-based software. I use Photoshop. And Photoshop, if you want to really get creative and have your content or have your thumbnail really stand out, you can learn some tricks on there. But definitely being consistent, having thumbnails that stand out, and really thinking about what people actually want to see, thinking about the questions that people have. And I'll be honest, like when I started, I went through YouTube. I looked at all the people that I used to watch who have locks, and I looked at their content, and that's where I got ideas from to get started. I'm not saying you want to copy somebody's content verbatim, but it's just to get an idea of what's popular, what are people looking for, when they're interested in a lock journey. So yeah, but good luck with that. Vaughn Gathers, what do you do to cut down on frizz? Girl, I don't know how to do that. That is one thing that I have frizz, and it's there, and it's gonna be there forever. I will say though, when I spritz my hair, like just a little bit of water, if I spritz water on my hair, on the roots, and then I tie it up with like a silky satiny scarf, that does tend to help. But the downside of that is then my roots eventually come undone. You're not going to be able to do that several times and keep like really tightly twisted roots. So it's just kind of a trade-off. I have gotten more comfortable with the idea of my roots being less twisted and just doing this water method and putting the scarf on. So then you just start to see my natural curl pattern, and yeah, it ends up being smooth, but it's not like a perfect retwist, if that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. You should be. How long does it take the smell to fade? Yeah, when I get like scents in my hair, it can be maybe a day or two. The coffee usually gets out of my locks maybe like in a day and a half, but it'll be there. There's things you can do, like you can spritz your locks with rose water or some kind of fragrance that's meant for the hair. Definitely not anything with alcohol. But yeah, it usually doesn't last forever, but when I smell it, it's annoying. Um, oh yeah, super mom. Yeah, your scarf is your best friend. Definitely keep your hair moisturized and tied down. That is definitely how I've been able to manage frizz. Um, Ishla Elia, my locks are only 8 months. How long should I wait before I start styling? It's a great question. So some people style on the first day. Some people end up getting a style. I didn't style my locks until I was 1 year locked because I wanted to be sure that my locks were mature. Because I maintained my locks myself. I only went in the almost 7 years that I've been on my lock journey. I have only been to a stylist twice. I have been, yeah, I went to the stylist. Well, a stylist started them, so I'm not counting that. But after getting them started, it was only 2 times. The first time was my 1 year anniversary when I got, a professional retwist. And the second time was in 2019 when I got color. So I didn't want to, since I was maintaining my locks myself, I wanted to be really conservative because I wanted to make sure that the locks matured. So I didn't style until a year, but there are some people who do it earlier. I would just say it really, you want to take like a few things into account. You want to think about your hair texture. If you have a really fine texture and it's already kind of work to keep them in the coils or the 2-strand twist or whatever you have, you might want to err on the conservative side. If your hair is very textured, if it's like 4C and it's already like really tight, you might be able to style, but I I err on the side of just waiting. That's just me personally because I didn't want to disturb anything. And I mean, when you think about it, if you wait a year, if you plan on growing your locks out, you're going to have years to experiment with styles, and you're going to have more styles that you're able to do because your hair is going to be longer. So for me, that 1 year sacrifice of not doing styles was just like the price of admission. Because after that, like I've been able to do so much, and I still don't even do as much as I could do. I am very, very what's the word? I don't want to say like formulaic with my styles, but I have a repertoire of styles and I don't err from them. I don't stray from them because I know it works for me. I know what I like and that's what I stick with. Um but yeah, just try to use your best judgment with that. Um Supermom, Rocky James, don't use gel or beeswax. Embrace the journey. You appreciate your locks much more. Absolutely. Do not use beeswax. And I had somebody ask me, because I posted, so I started, first of all, let me say, I started a TikTok. If you're on TikTok, please follow me on there. It's nina.locks. And I haven't posted in a couple days, but I posted a video of some lock best practices. And I was saying that you don't need beeswax. And somebody had said, well, if not beeswax, then what? And I had said, I use aloe vera gel and I've been using that for 7 years and I have had zero issues with my hair being locked. My hair is locked. It's not like the super, just like it won't give you the tightest hold. But for me, that's okay because I'm not looking for perfection and that's what leads to all kinds of issues anyway. So you can definitely start locks, without all of that stuff. You don't need that. I used to think that having locks meant, that you had to have stuff in your hair because I used to see people all the time who had a lot of buildup. And so that was how I pictured locks. And that's just not true. That's just not the reality. I think locks and beeswax are so closely closely associated together, so people automatically think, okay, if I want to lock my hair, if I want to get it to matte, I need something thick and heavy. But it's totally like counterproductive to the process, I think, because you get locks from the hair tangling. And the more you wash your hair, the cleaner the hair is, the easier it's going to be to tangle. Because the reality is, you don't want your locks to be held together by gunk. That's I don't know who want I don't want that. I can't speak for everybody, but I don't want my locks to be held together by debris and product buildup. And when you use really heavy stuff, that's what ends up happening. As I've said a million times, I've been doing my locks for 7 years by myself, and my locks are clean. And I had people comment on how clean my locks are. And this is not to like brag about anything, but I'm trying to make the point that you don't need all this heavy stuff. You really don't. All right. I know I went a little bit long on that. All right, Nadine Roberts. How often do you retwist? So I try to retwist like every 3 weeks. So I mentioned earlier, like washing my locks and then kind of neatening the roots, like not retwisting them formally, but just getting them all together. But I do like a formal retwist maybe every 3 to 4 weeks. Vaughn Gathers, my hair goes more straight, less kinky. It has more to do with age. So when it grows, it doesn't kink. Talking about the frizz. Devon Smith, are you still using Lion Locks products? Yes, I am. I'm not using their, it was the locking moisturizer. I'm not using that product because I don't want buildup in my locks, as I just mentioned. And that product is a little heavier. But I am still using their lock growth oil and their rose water spray. All right. Papa Franku, girl, you're thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Well, thanks. Yeah, quarantine has been quarantine has been good to me in terms of eating, but I definitely want to get back down to my pre-quarantine weight. Because yeah, I gain weight in my face and it is annoying. So yeah, but thanks. Hannah Balagan asks, love your locks and your journey. Thank you. Is it normal for retwist to unravel? I only use water and oil to retwist. I just hit 3 months. Yes, that is normal. And especially if you're only using water and oil, you're going to get like the least amount of hold. But it's totally fine. And if you don't mind the retwisting, using only water and oil is really going to give you, besides using nothing, that's going to give you just the cleanest locks overall versus using something heavier. So yes, it's normal. And if it doesn't bother you, I would say stick with it. JL says, hey, do a top knot bun tutorial. I will. I did one last year, but I will do another one. Vaughn Gathers, don't forget to like. Yes, thank you, Vaughn Gathers. Don't forget to like, guys. I don't know if any of you guys watch freaking Kevin Samuels, but he's in a character. I'm not going to go into all the stuff that he talks about, but I just brought him up to say he gets really obnoxious when the engagement levels go down. He will basically go into intermission where he'll play music and wait for the likes to go back up. And then he wants people to donate in the super chat and all that. So you know what? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait till likes go up. Like my stuff. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. But nah. Thank you, Vaughn, for calling that out. Audrey Thomas, hey, beautiful. Hi. Just join the conversation. Where'd you buy Rosewater? Thank you for joining. What in the world? I don't know what just happened. The music just got loud. What happened? How do I? Okay, hold on. I do have to go to intermission now because this music just came out of nowhere. And I'm all right. Okay, yeah. I have some music on on the TV in the background, and it's just for me, like, so it's not dead in here. But yeah, we don't want any copyright strikes, so thank you. All right. Sorry, guys, I lost my place. Okay. All right, Audrey, I was on your question. So where do you buy your rose water? I get my rose water from, there's a natural food store that's near me. I get it from there. Lion Logs did send me their spray, but you can get rose water from like any natural store. Whole Foods has it. You can order it from Amazon as well. They have where you can get the rose water and glycerin together. So yeah, just any natural store. Fancy Ish says, does the dryer sheet method really work on locks to get rid of smell? I don't know. I've never tried that, and I wouldn't try that personally because dryer sheets, the scent is like a lot of chemicals. So I try to be as natural as possible. I'm not saying that I'm like 100% natural all the time, but I definitely, I would be careful with that because of chemicals. Delqueer, the board bone, that's a funny name. Do you think it's concerning as a teen if your hair keeps thinning at the root? Yeah, I think that is concerning. That could be a hormonal issue. There's a few different reasons for that, like PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. I think that's it. That could be, I'm not saying that's what you have. I'm just saying that that's one of the things that can cause thinning. So you definitely want to go to your doctor or talk to your parents and see about that because it's not normal. And it's not a death sentence either. So I don't want to make it sound like that. All right. Tamara Smith, good evening, girl watching Canada. Thank you. All right. Love Cam. Tips for thick locks. Just started my lock journey 3 weeks ago. By the way, I love your locks. Thank you. I don't think that, well, first let me say I don't really have thick locks, so I can't speak as someone who does, but I will say I feel like the maintenance and the like best practices you want to follow are pretty much the same. You definitely want to be extra conservative with products. Use the most natural, the cleanest products that you can. If you have a product that has like 20 ingredients in it, there is a pretty good chance that that product is going to lead to buildup. And the thicker your locks are, the harder it's going to be to keep them clean. So definitely be conservative with products. Try to dilute things where you can. Like I never use just full strength products on my hair. Just be conservative with what you do. All right. Ruki Anthony Kevin be going off. Yes, he do, girl. JL also do pop smoke tutorial. Love the hairstyle. I don't know what that is. I don't know what the pop smoke hair. Oh, wow. I'm slow. But I mean, that to me is like, I guess it's just braids pretty much. I don't know if I would do that. I don't think that's really my style. I have braids right now, but his braids, he had like fewer plaits and then the hair was just like plaited. All right. Anthony McKellar, damn cute. Thank you. Why do I keep skipping through this? All right, Grace Kanya, is it okay to braid over locks? It's possible to braid over locks. People do it. Is it okay? It's relative. I wouldn't do it on my hair because my hair is already very fine and the locks themselves add weight to my hair. I mean, I've kept the majority of my hair that I would have shed over 7 years. So it's not a bad thing. I don't want to like qualify it that way. It's not like good or bad, right or wrong. It's just about how long you keep the braids over your hair and like how tight everything is because you're adding more weight. So, and you already have extra weight when you have locks. And especially depending on how long they are, you could have a lot more weight. So just be careful with that. Husseini Hassani, hi Nina and Princess from Rwanda. I like your locks. Thank you. Thank you. Neek D Cut, hey girl, what happened to your lock interviews? I was interested. So yes, I have an interview that I have not edited because I think I need to reshoot it, and she's gonna be mad. She's probably wondering where this interview is. But I will be doing more interviews. Thank you for asking about that. That's something that I really enjoyed. I think with the pandemic and everything, and then like stuff with work, I needed to reprioritize some stuff. All right. Actual factual. I've had a thing for you since high school, but never acted on it. I wish I would have. Oh, I'm very flattered. Thank you. I'm very flattered. I do have a man though. But thank you though. Natasha Barber, what's a jar? Oh, that's the jar sheet. Vaughn Gathers, I love your decor. You need to do a live on that. Your plants and macrame are stunning. Thank you. So I'm actually tomorrow, hopefully, I am putting up a video of my apartment tour. And I'll show you guys all the macrame and all the plants and all the things, you know, that I love. I will say, so I feel like I shouldn't say this, but I want to go ahead and say it anyway. So it was shot with a wide angle lens. Wide angle don't do nobody favors. Okay. First of all, I had on a big sweater, and then a big sweater plus some quarantine weight plus wide angle lens. Child. A part of me was like, can we just like cut me out of this, please? And also I was kind of having a bad hair day, and I should have done my hair differently. So I'm annoyed about that, but you will be able to see my place. And ultimately, that's what I'm trying to show. I'm not trying to show myself. So if you watch that video, please don't judge me. Don't judge me. It's a wide angle. Alrighty. Simone Bailey, hi. Josiah Flood, what styles do you do with your locks? Very simple styles. If you've been here a while, you know I always do braid outs. And I do the styles that prepare me for a braid out, like this, just with the two locks in the front, pull back, or the two braids in the front. I do high ponytails. I do 2-strand twists. I do like space buns where there's 2 buns, or sometimes I'll just do 1 bun. I do curls, but not a whole lot. Like I might do curls maybe like once a year. What else do I do? I do like where I'll do like, I do like where I do like, where I do like. I do braids sometimes, or like a style where it's 2 kind of big braids and then I pull it back. I haven't done that in a while, but that was something I used to do all the time. But generally speaking, I am like very simple with my locks, and I always just think about it. But if you're like watching my content, y'all, hold on, let me pause real quick. I'm trying to stop saying like, but it's so hard. It's so hard. Usually when I do my videos, I edit that out because it gets on my nerves. So sorry for all the likes. I hope you like it though. Give this a thumbs up. Thank you. But yeah, if you're looking for somebody that does like if you're looking for somebody that does elaborate styles, that's not me. That's not me. And it took me some time because I was thinking about maybe adding more things to what I do, but it's not really me. I'm very simple. I like routine. I like predictability. And when it comes to my hair, I just want to keep it as simple as possible. I don't want to do like 10 million different styles. Murray Bush, one more question. I just purchased some aloe vera gel and it's 100%, but my question is, do you recommend a certain brand? So I have used Fruit of the Earth aloe vera gel my entire lock journey. I've had no issues with that. So that's what I would recommend. But yeah, if you have 100% aloe vera gel, you should be okay. Demetrius Dubois, what's the best lock starter method? Best is relative. but the comb coils method is really good for people that have very tightly coiled hair. Like if you like 4B, 4C, that's where I am. And that worked for me. And I had no unraveling. I washed my locks after 8 days and everything was fine. But if you have a finer texture of hair, if your hair is more loose, you might need to do twister and twist so you can make sure that the starter locks actually stay intact. Epiphany, how do you grow your locks so fast? There's nothing that I do differently. I think it's people think that, or it seems that locks grow so fast because you're holding on to all of your hair. You're not shedding anything, so it's all just able to grow, uninterrupted, unbothered. But there's nothing that I do differently. I don't take any specific vitamins for hair growth. I do take a women's multivitamin, but I don't do anything extra. Elton Thomas, I love your locks. Thank you. Bilbo hiding a hi. Excuse me. Diamond Trophy new here. Hi, welcome. Del Queer, the board bone. Do you think I should shave my hair and start again? I'm the same girl with the thinning problem, by the way. I think it's up to you. I don't want to, because I don't know you and I don't see your hair, so I don't want to say yes, you should shave your head. I think that you should probably go to a dermatologist or a trichologist first and get evaluated and figure out what's actually going on with your hair. And then based on that, decide what you want to do. But I shaved my head before. I didn't shave it bald, but I did do a low cut and shaved pretty much all my hair off for the most part. So you can do it. Hair grows back. But I would look into what's going on in your system first. All right, Josiah Flood, I want to say, first of all, I want to say your locks are so pretty, but would you ever try rice water on your hair? Thank you. And I actually would try rice water. I've been meaning to do a video trying rice water a while ago, and I just haven't done it. There's a lot of videos that I want to do that I have not done. But yeah, I would try it. All right, Marie W. You gave me courage to start my lock journey. I'm 1 year and 5 months in. Congratulations! Yay! Congratulations. That's awesome. Husseini Hassani, I already started my lock journey with 1 year, but it's really short. What can I do to grow fast? Thank you. I don't believe there's, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel like there are things that you can do to make your hair grow fast. I don't think that. I think that it's genetics, it's biology, it's how fast your hair grows in general. With locks, it's going to appear that your hair, I won't say it's going to appear that your hair is going fast, but you're going to keep your hair. So you're going to see more length than you might see if you just had loose natural hair. But there's nothing, at least in my knowledge, in my life, in my, the spectrum of what I know, there's nothing you can do. It's just you ride out your journey. However your hair grows, how fast it grows is how fast your hair grows. There's no magic pills. There's no magic bullet. It's a process. So yeah, just write out your process. Epiphany, I use rice water in my rocks. They grow I can't talk. They grow them very fast. That's awesome. But as I was saying, yeah, I don't, because I haven't used rice water, so I can't speak to anything that made my locks grow faster. NB, hey, I just joined, and I'm wondering, what are you doing to thicken up your roots? Well, mainly what I'm doing is just cutting back on retwisting, cutting back on, like I'm still washing my hair like every 2 weeks, but I don't retwist it tightly, and I'm hoping that will, help me maintain that hair there. Love Cam, does budding add to the shrinkage you already experience when you start your journey? That's a good question, and I'm trying to think. I think no. At least not in my experience. As my hair started to bud, it looked longer. It was the first day that I started where my hair looked really, really short. I had I had over 3 inches of hair, but I mean, it just was all up here. So it didn't, I don't think, I want to say no, it didn't cause a shrinkage in that it looked longer, but it also was really frizzy, like really puffy, really frizzy, and not anything like, not how I'd want my hair to just be. So honestly, I would not worry about that too much, because as your locks are maturing, they're changing, they're growing, they're changing, they are, they're in flux. So, excuse me, I wouldn't judge too much what's happening. It's all like part of the initial process. Sorry. All right. Um, NB, there's a YouTube influencer that said for natural hair, they use conditioner and water spray before oils. It's been working for me. Yeah, there's different methods that people do. I think there's a lock method. I don't really know a lot about those methods because I didn't do all that when I was a loose natural. All right, Mish M. Do you have a real life lock community you're a part of? Other women with locks that you spend time with? My lock community is strictly online, a little isolating. That's a great question. And no, right now I don't, because of the pandemic. Before the pandemic, I didn't really have a community of people that were locked, but I spent a lot of time around people who were locked because I'm in DC, tons of people have locks, and I would always go to like these different artsy events where tons of people would have locks, but I didn't have like my own community. My community is online. Get some water because I'm like dry. What's going on? All right. I feel you though on it being isolating as you're starting. But the online community, thank goodness for the online community because it does help a lot. But yeah, I didn't have one. And I guess I didn't, for me personally, I didn't feel like I missed that because I'm really introspective and I was doing a lot of journaling, and I was engaging myself a lot during the process, so I felt okay. But I definitely understand, like, if you're more extroverted and you want to be around people, if you can find a way to do it safely, then that could be good. Tanisha Lovely, I think once you get in your lock journey, you start feeling like growing your locks fast is no longer the goal. It's the whole journey, at least for me. I agree with that, definitely. And as I was saying earlier, as you just live your life, they'll grow. So I think if you spend your time on your journey, like putting yourself under a microscope, trying to analyze, measure like how much is growing every month, it's just a lot. Just seriously, like, just try to enjoy your life, live your life, and your hair will be growing in the midst of that. Yes, well said. Natasha Barber, what part system did you start with? I started with the with diamond parts. Yeah. Simone Bailey, love your channel. Keep giving us videos. Thank you. I certainly will. Bianca Brown, have you ever washed your locks in braids and then take them out when dry to limit manipulation? That's a good question. I have not done that. I'm not necessarily opposed to that, but I just would be concerned about my roots. I don't want my roots to get tangled, but I haven't tried that. That's an interesting suggestion. Pay the Piper started Discord lock community. Simone, trying to learn my hair logs to understand what it needs to make flourish. Currently experiencing breakage. Being transparent on my channel. Yeah, it's part of. I will say after 7 years, nearly 7 years in March, I'm still learning what makes my hair tick. I'm still learning what my hair likes. I've made mistakes. In 2019 was a huge mistake, getting my locks colored, getting them lifted so much and not taking care of them the way I should have. I'm learning about different kinds of oils that my locks like. I'm learning that it's okay for me to not retwist. And not only is it okay, but it's actually really good for me not to retwist. Um, so you learn a lot as your locks grow, and it's all part of the process. Bianca Brown, your locks are 7 years old. Incredulously, yes, they are. They will be 7 years old. I did cut them. I always say that I just shave a year off, like in terms of length, because I cut some hair due to damage. But yes, I will be 7 years locked. Um, all right, guys. Thank you so much for your questions. It was great to chat with you guys as always. Um, yeah, this was fun. I hope you guys have a great night. I am tired. I'm starting to sound like a frog. So I need some water, and yes. Um, I'll answer this one last question though, from Rukia. Are you concerned that if you have kids, you may experience postpartum shedding? Yes, yes, yes. That's something I think about all the time. I don't have kids right now, but I have heard so many stories of, women losing their edges. I don't have much in the way of edges to begin with. So that is something that gives me a lot of anxiety. But ultimately, I'm going to just have to take it as it comes. I'm not there yet. And I don't want to I don't want to project that anxiety into, you know, the future that I don't even know about yet. Um, Bianca Brown, but the shedding should go in the logs. I mean, the shedding would go in the locks, but the thing is, if it's actually thinning where the roots or where the edges are coming out, that's going to be bald, and it could be in the lock, but that's there's not going to be anything here. So it's just something to be real about, something to think about, something that I won't be able to avoid. I mean, I can keep myself nourished. But you only have so much control over that. So yes, LOL. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great night, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.